These are the last 8.
It's horrible. Your voice. Who told you you've got a nice voice?
If you're going to be like this, I'm not filming this video. I'm not doing it.
Theo, you're going to be like Piers Morgan.
Yeah, I'm about to walk off. Unless we get 13,571 likes.
It is Benfica against Inter Milan. It's top of the Portuguese league against second in Serie A. Gonzalo Ramos, they have got a special player, haven't they, Theo? Linked with Bayern Munich and many other teams.
They've got a gunman. It's exciting how good Benfica are. People like to write off the Portuguese league, but time and time again, Benfica have a great academy and staff that continue to adopt players put together, and they have great tactics. They are attacking, they're fluid. If you put a big league table together of goal difference and the amount of points they picked up in the Champions League through the few first rounds of the playoffs and the groups, Benfica are third. Why are they third? Because they're actually one of the best teams in this, and people don't understand that.
That is true. They've got pedigree in this tournament. They have won it twice. Now, their squad value, interestingly, Theo, is the lowest of all 8 teams. João Mario, 15 goals, 6 assists, and he's a central midfielder.
This is their first difficult test, would you say? I mean, of course they play PSG. Do you favour them against Inter Milan?
I don't personally, Theo. Of course, this is the only one team out of the 8 who are not from the top 4 European leagues. Won this tournament 3 times. They've got twice the squad value of Benfica. I fancy the Italians.
With Inzaghi, you've got experience, don't you? You've got Barella, who won the Euros. You've got a great centre-back in Skriniar. I've seen him have solo performances against prime Barca. These players that I'm mentioning, Lautaro Martinez, he helped knock out Barcelona early on the season with Edin Dzeko. They've been there and done that. With Benfica, it's a new team, it's more fiery. They're going to be more confident maybe. It's very difficult though when the second leg is going back to San Siro. That's why I think it's so 50-50.
And that is the key for me, Theo. You can see the Italians grinding out a 1-1 draw in Portugal. And you go back to the San Siro and they win it by a goal or 2.
What's your prediction, Dad?
I think Benfica fall out at this stage, which is a shame. I'm going to support the Portuguese here. I think Inter win this narrowly.
Over 2 legs. Well, you're going to hear our exact score predictions in our Champions League predictions after the international break. But we're just giving you our initial thoughts. I'm backing Benfica. I respect the quality that you guys provide week in, week out, on and off the pitch. The great amount of fans. Benfica average over 50,000 fans at home games at their Emirates lookalike stadium. The noise that they provide, the football that they play. And that's the reason I think over 2 legs, I'm going to favour them against Inter Milan. I like that we've gone different on the first one. With the 8 Champions League teams remaining, 3 of them are Italian clubs, Serie A. So if we compare the amount of money spent in budgets in the summer and winter transfers for the Premier League and Calcio, Serie A, it's ridiculous. The Premier League has so much more money. Yet the teams that get knocked out are Tottenham and Liverpool, and the teams that make it through are the 2 Milan clubs and Napoli. Why, may you ask? Because they are very well run. They've got enough experience to understand how to deal with this level and stage of a tournament. Italians are always good, especially defensively. That's the reason Inter did it in the last round. They went to Porto and avoided conceding. So this second game, I'm really looking forward to talking about, Dan. It's a double Italian header. AC Milan against Napoli is the first leg. Then they go to Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. What an exciting fixture. Dad, what do Milan bring to the table?
Well, this is a fascinating one because AC Milan are 4th, aren't they, in Serie A? They're 20 points behind Napoli, but they've won this tournament 7 times. Only 1 team has won it more than that. And these 2 teams are going to play each other 3 times in April. So forget league positions. Surprise could happen here.
You've watched AC Milan longer than me, Dad. What are they like historically as a football club in this competition?
Like all good Italian teams, brilliant defensively. Not always the most exciting compared to the Bayern Munichs and the Real Madrids, but defensively very, very strong.
It's funny because they're playing another Italian club. Italian versus Italian. Does that mean we're going to see a 0-0?
And one of the best ones is Rafael Leao, Theo, who's got 8 goals and 7 assists this season. Is this a player you'd like to see in the Premier League?
He is, but he's usually better with Theo Hernandez behind him, who's been injured for a lot this season. Rafael Leao has struggled to find his form, and he wasn't the reason at any means why they knocked out Tottenham. It was a solid defence. It was the Italian traditional. I'm arguing to my own point here. They play the complete opposite to traditional Italian football. They are attacking, they are fluid. Spalletti has by no means any barriers. From the get-go, they attack. And they've got Kvaradona. They've got Osimhen, the most on-form striker in the world right now. And with Kim Min-jae at the back, they still have that beastly, that tank, you know, that core, that hook. No one can get through him. They're so far ahead in the Serie A. They can play reserve players in some of their future fixtures. And, you know, they can be clever and focus on European football. That's the incredible thing. But my question for you, Dad, these 2 teams, both Italian, Are you happy to see two Italian teams come up against, or is the whole idea of European football is one nation against another club against another, just to compete, see what level they are in comparison?
No, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. 3 Italian teams have made it to this stage. That's more than any other country, more than in England. And like you said earlier, Theo, the big money clubs are the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas, Bayern Munich, and of course Chelsea and Man City and Liverpool. These are the billion-dollar clubs. The Italian clubs have spent less on their squads. Now, Napoli this season have been one of the best teams in Europe. They are second favourites to win this tournament.
The time to win the Champions League is now or never.
Napoli will win this over 3 hours.
They are favourite. And it's a shame because we would have seen a Milan derby in a Champions League semi-final.
Yes.
Because you backed Inter.
Which means that there'll be an Italian club in the final.
And I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
I've
me
seen
too.
so much English dominance in the Champions League final. And you're probably watching this thinking, but Theo, you're English. You want that. No, I don't. I want to see a different country come up against a different country in the final. 2 big boys going at it. That's what it's all about. And to add your point, Dad, about wanting 2 Italian clubs facing each other in Europe, the reason I want it, when I watched City Liverpool a few years back, do you remember how exciting that Champions League semi-final was? It was free-flowing, there were goals galore, everyone was up for it, there was pyro outside the stadium. I think we'll see the same in Italy.
Real Madrid against Chelsea now. Theo, the second half of the video, and some people have not liked it yet.
What?
Oh yes, though they have now.
Yeah, they've done it. That's so good.
Right.
And
we
perfect timing for the best game. Los Blancos against the Blue Boys, an English club who are 10th in the Premier League.
Hey, that's my bit. Second in La Liga, Theo, against 10th in the Premier League. And Real Madrid have won this tournament 14 times. They are the granddaddies of this tournament. But talk to me about them this season, because they are second, aren't they, in La Liga? 8 points behind Barcelona. Oh, by the way, it's El Clasico on Sunday.
Can Real Madrid continue to beat the English clubs like they did last year?
Got to start with Karim Benzema.
We do.
Now, he's played less in the league this season, 15 games, but he's still got 14 contributions. So anyone who says he's had a poor season, nonsense.
They proved it in Liverpool 2, Real Madrid 6, over the 2 aggregates, that Real Madrid are still at their best. There won't be a Bernabeu second leg this time. They're playing their first leg there.
Wow.
That's going to make it a lot more 50-50. That will bring a lot of confidence to Blues, to Chelsea fans, knowing Stamford Bridge, they have 90 minutes to change around whatever scoreline Los Blancos scores in the first leg.
Chelsea have got a higher squad value, interestingly, but you look at the Real Madrid team. We've already mentioned Benzema.
We have
Vinny Jr., one of the best players in the world. The likes of Rodrigo, Camavinga. These are game winners.
I'm going to pause you there, not to be rude to interrupt you, but Ancelotti said in a press conference after the Liverpool game that Vinny Jr. is the best player in the world on current form. My question for you is, do you agree with him?
I think he could be, Theo. I think within the next 2 or 3 years, he could be the best. But how do you compare him with the likes of Erling Haaland?
Oh, that's a great point. I think when you're the manager, you're always going to be supportive of your players. And when you come up against Trent Alexander-Arnold, you may look a little bit better. Trent's world-class, but he's not a world-class defender. He might do it again, but it's going to be harder. You've got wing-backs of Chilwell, Reece James. 3 is the lucky number for Chelsea this season. They've won 3 games. Graham Potter has gone from nearly being sacked to turning it around. And Enzo Fernandez is gelling. Kai Havertz is scoring goals. And do you know what? When it matters in Havertz, he does secure the bag.
The quality within that Real Madrid squad is spectacular. I think Chelsea will come nowhere near them. I look at the Chelsea squad and I ask myself, who are the match winners here? I rate João Felix.
Okay, how about this, Dad? Listen, Mudryk, when he played for Shakhtar, he dominated against Real Madrid. In fact, one of the main reasons they signed him at Chelsea was his performances early on this season in the Champions League against the Madridsters. And he's playing them again. I mean, what a perfect time to finally get a goal. He got an assist against Leicester. He can kick on.
Do you know what Chelsea have got there? They've won this tournament twice and against the odds. And it's kind of miracles in both occasions. But it won't happen here.
I'm trying to make this interesting.
I know you
think
are.
Chelsea have the perfect players to go up against Real Madrid.
They don't,
and I did not say that about Liverpool. Not saying Chelsea are going to go through. I'm going to say over 2 legs, it's going to be Real Madrid. But I think it'll be closer. 2 or 3 goals. You're writing them off already. You're a mug.
And last but not least, it's Manchester City against Bayern Munich. It's second
it's
in
not.
the Premier League against top of the Bundesliga. Theo, this is the best tie
Dad, this
of
is
the
final.
tournament.
This is the final.
Manchester City have never won this tournament.
2 favourites to win the Champions League, and they're playing each other out in the...
It should be the final, shouldn't it?
And the winner is playing Real Madrid or Chelsea.
Yeah.
What is going on? Man City, having the Etihad as their first leg, is going to kill them. I don't think they are favourites here coming into this game. When they go back to Allianz Arena, even Choupo-Moting will get the job done. Player for player, you'd probably say City are the better team. but Bayern have the history, don't they?
They've won it 6 times. Man City have never won it. These are 2 spectacular squads.
Yeah, they are.
For me, the difference here is a man called Erling Haaland. Now, let's talk about the league. We know that City are second in the league by 5 points. I still think they'll win it. But Haaland has scored 28 goals in the league. He scored 10 goals in the UCL. He's on route for the Golden Boot. Yes, he has.
And they
5 of them last week.
Leipzig won, Man City 8 on aggregate. The second leg alone had 5 Haaland goals. And they brought him off in the 60th minute.
Both of these teams have got game winners. Look at Man City. I've mentioned Haaland, Phil Foden.
Yeah.
Jack Grealish is coming good at the right time. Mahrez, Gundogan. We all know that Manchester City will win the Champions League at some point.
I would love it. I would love it. The English boys knocking them out, Foden and Grealish gaining their experience at the perfect time in the pinnacle moments of their career. Haaland, though, never had a good record against Bayern. Even with Haaland at Dortmund, he never was able to do it against Bayern Munich. At City, it could be a different story, and they will be shook after that Leipzig result. I think we're very likely to see the winner of this game in the final against Napoli. That's my prediction.
Now, Bayern Munich, Theo, they still have to focus a little bit on the league because they're only 2 points ahead of Borussia Dortmund, despite having a 46 goal difference. So 3 points ahead. They've got some amazing players, the likes of Yamullers, Kimmichs, Komans, who've been around for a long time. Jamal Musiala, what a player this year. Now, the interesting thing about Bayern Munich, they've scored over 70 goals in the league. Nobody's scored more than 11 league goals. They share them around.
They do.
Sané gets a few. Mane gets a few.
Kimmich.
Cancelo's coming. Goretzka gets a few. It's astonishing.
Gnabry.
Over 3 hours, I reckon there could be 8, 9, 10 goals in this tie. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
It's going to be such a good match.
And it's going to be won by Manchester City. And do you know why?
What?
Because
that's thrown me. You're going
Haaland against Choupo-Moting.
Let's talk about the key players. Choupo-Moting, Messi. Pick one. Tell me, pick one. Because you know who's through to the next round? Choupo-Moting. So this argument about, having a better striker, Bayern have a better team and more depth. That's why I'm going Bayern Munich. Let the comments decide. History will tell itself. Please subscribe because I am going to go to some of these Champions League games. They are going to be some of the best vlogs you will ever see. Make sure you have that notification bell on because you will be the first to watch it when we see that masterclass from